Hi, Kevin Blanche. Apparently the entire United States skipped the third grade. So we're going to review, kids. This is going to be third grade civics lessons for grown adults in the United States. I'm a professor, and it amazes me. Right here in these very set classrooms, at the MBA level, at the advanced level, I'll get students in here and we start reviewing basics. They don't know. Which, is it their fault? They're stupid? No. Has the education system failed them? Oh yeah. Okay, let's talk third grade civic lessons, especially you Tea Party morons, how our forefathers set it up here. Okay, first class, we have 3 branches of government. 1, legislative. 2, judicial. 3, executive. Okay, kids, what's the executive branch? This is the checks and balances of the United States. Our forefathers set this up. 1776. Remember, we fought against the English. King George, we didn't like their system. We had a revolution. We fought a war over it. Oh, we've returned everything we were. Oh, okay. Here we go. Executive, that would be the president. Right? Second, that would be the federal court system, the Supreme Court. Now this is the one we want to focus on. The legislative. That's Congress. Okay, there's the 3. Now one checks the other and vice versa, in theory. Let's talk about how Congress was set up. Congress. We have the Senate, which is the stronger house. And then we have the House of Representatives. 100 senators, 2 from each state. So it's not equally weighted. The House, what do we have? 400 and change right now, which changes on the population. Depending on how many people are in each district, you get a seat. Okay, there's 400, I believe, and 55 right now, somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay, it was set up for compromise. Now the president, which is the executive branch, has what we call a veto. If he doesn't like what they do, he can veto it and stop it. Can they override his veto? Yes. It takes a 75% majority to overrule a veto in both the Senate and the House. Okay. Was it set up for compromise? Yes. If one party dug in, does it work? No. Has this happened before? Yeah. Try the 1946 Congress, as Harry Truman used to call it, the do-nothing Congress. When you have a split House, which we have, split government, which usually works beautifully when it's split. You got the Senate is still ruled by the Democrats, right? Yeah, it's 53 to 47. Now our forefathers set up what they call a filibuster. How many votes does it take to get through the Senate? 60. 60, which is 60%, right? Okay, the lesser house, as we call it, because they're in office for only 2 years. Senators are in for 6 years. Senators have major power. 85% of them are re-elected as incumbents. Congress changes winds like the wind blows. Okay, so if something gets through Congress, it has to have 60 votes to get through the Senate. Thus, compromise. Without compromise, and the president has that veto pen. So it has to be an agreement between them, 60 senators. Even though it's 53-47, you have to have both sides. Now, Congress is different in the House. In the House, just majority. You can carry it by 1 vote. But so what if anything passes the House? It has to get through the Senate, which 60 votes. Thus, compromise. The whole system was set up for compromise. Why? So extreme thinking, so fascism or whatever the other side you want to call it, thinking doesn't take over. like it has in the history of societies, like it did in jolly old England when you were born into the class system, which still exists. They didn't want a class system. They wanted it of the people. It is the people. So you have, right now you have the far-right radicals in Congress that are blocking. Well, are they going to get anything their way by blocking? They're not going to get anything. They're not going to get nothing. Because if you're dug in an ideologue and you don't know how to compromise, you achieve zero. You achieve absolute zero. That's the way the forefathers set it up. That's the way we want it. Thus, compromise. We've always been compromised. Dug-in ideologues do not survive. Dug-in ideologues are not remembered in history. Dug-in ideologues go bye-bye. Does anybody know who Deeds was? Let's see, he got 6% of the vote from prison. I mean, nobody knows anybody about the ideologues. Ideologues are written out of history because they don't achieve anything, because our system is set up for compromise. That's your class, you ignorant freaking morons in the United States. Third grade civics, which you all seem to have skipped. And Congress is the voice of you and I. Like I took my camera, interviewed on this campus, 2,000 people. What's your opinion on Congress? I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. Who's your congressman? I don't know. If you don't know who your congressman is, shut the up. Seriously. I mean, I hear it all the time. People know who Pelosi is. I have a guy who's pretty intellectual. Told me in the last election, you know, he bet me $1,000 and Nancy Pelosi lost. That's how freaking mainstream Fox News, television media, freaking swallow the elephant they have become. I'm like, she didn't lose. Yeah, she's not the House Majority Speaker anymore because the Democrats lost the majority. They don't understand. Oh no, I said she won like 80-something%, one of the biggest landslides in the country. That's how ignorant these people are. They don't understand anything, but they have a voice, and they have an opinion. And they're dug in because Fox has fed them, or somebody's fed them this idealistic viewpoint, and they just freaking walk down that road. I call it the regurgitation. Look, like my famous professor used to say all the time, if you come to a university for a piece of paper, you're here for the wrong reasons, 1. 2, the mind is not a storage shed. The mind is a workplace. Kevin Blanche.